Hello, it's Julie from Love's Beginning. And if you're new to the channel, um, I receive messages every day on my blog at lovesbeginning.com. So mainly I write, but sometimes I make a video. And I was just reflecting this morning on how incredible it seems to me that when I decide to make a video, which I kind of had to be talked into doing, um, I can just deliver the message that comes, and I will be amazed later to find out I talked for 9 minutes, or I talked for 25 minutes, and I didn't even know I had all that much to say. Usually I'm given a seed idea and then I expand on that. So briefly, I don't know why I'm doing this, but maybe somebody has a question about that. Who do I channel and how do I channel? The group of beings um, that I channel we've agreed amongst us to call the imaginary friends, lowercase I, lowercase f, because we're being invited to see how we are as delightfully flexible and imaginary as they are. So there's never been a great need for names, but at times the various individual beings have popped through with a resonance where I really felt this is one who is speaking. So if you want to know the names of the ones who have popped in, they would be Metatron, um, Yeshua, Mary, um, why am I forgetting? Saint Germain, Michael, Gabriel, Ezekiel, um, Lao Tzu. There are probably others, but those are the ones that come to mind right now. I just usually, though, if I'm thinking of them, it says balls of light. Um, very, very lighthearted, very close to source, not embodied, not caught up in what we would see as a personality, but with a flavor of personalities. So today, I wanted to talk about forgiveness. It was pointed out to me. Oh, I guess how I channel. I didn't say that yet. So, how I channel would be I'm still talking. I haven't left the building. I'm not a trance channel, but I'm definitely hearing and passing on. So it's kind of a combination of me and the message I'm receiving. But I would not have that much to talk about on my own. So all along, though, I've been told hybrid, that I am speaking with my voice because it is the voice of the one, and it comes through the flavor of my personality. So there was never any insistence that I leave in the sense of that I go into a trance. There was more the sense that this is just my voice. This is just everybody's true voice. The voice, harmonic voice, the whole, coming through an individuated aspect with a particular flavor. So that's what it was told to me from the beginning, that this is how it would be, and that's why I do it this way. So back to the main point. Um, the idea that came to me was about forgiveness. And it was suggested to me that when I'm feeling a great big gout of stress arise, which I do every single day, and it was also pointed out to me that people don't always notice all the stress or anxiety they feel because they use judgments to cover it up. So if we catch ourselves going into judgment, we're trying to avoid our feelings of stress or anxiety. We catch ourselves exclaiming, complaining. We may be acknowledging that we feel a stress or anxiety, but we're trying to move the source over to something other rather than our misperception of who and what we are. So we're being invited to clear up all of our misperceptions in these energies. They are very intense, and everything we don't need is coming up for release. We may find ourselves in some intense situations. I was in a minor car accident that brought up lots of stuff and is still doing so. I'm not saying that disastrous things are going to happen, but I am saying that we're being squeezed. Everything we don't need is coming up for release. And our true selves are arising in the place of what we release. So if we just think of this, the true self, it's coming up, 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 up. Everything we don't need is leaving. And there may be some interesting events along the way. um, but not to take them personally. We will at first if we have stuff to release. We will take them personally, and that's the stuff that's going to come up. So it was suggested to me that when I feel a great big gout of stress or anxiety, they gave me a theme song for it, and it goes, "Unforgivable, that's what you are." So it is, if I will notice, an inability to forgive myself. If stress is coming up, like in the situation of the car accident, am I going to forgive myself for the role I played in that happening and what amount of fault I think I had? And my attention is directed to not fault, but responsibility. Whatever situation you're put into is the perfect situation for you at that moment. It will bring up everything you don't need for release. So that's, instead of fault, the thing to focus on is what's coming up for release. The thing to focus on is responsibility. Responsibility is not meant to be heavy. Responsibility is directly connected to our power to respond to anything. Um, I'm invited into the now moment when we think about something happening and we're going to label it bad. Like, I'm going to look at a car accident and I'm going to label it bad. I'm going to miss the gift there. So they often show me things as gift wrapped. And if I'm curious and if I look into it and if I see the benefit there, I'm taking off the outer wrapping or the judgment of all car accidents are bad. And it's being suggested to me that for the other party, all events that happen are perfect. And that takes blame and fault right out of it. It must have been perfect for the other party in some way too. And to know that everybody's supported and held in love, even when we're miscreating or mismaking. I like the distinction between in the illusion making and creating that I learned from A Course in Miracles. So when we're projecting disorder because we're uncomfortable with ourselves, uncomfortable with our experience, we project disorder. And then we experience what we label as disorder within our daily lives and also on various stages, on stages of other people in our lives in a way that seems unrelated to us, on the world stage. And what I'm coming to see is I'm responsible for all of it. There's only one I, there's all of us here on this earth plane at this time are making things together, and we make disorder together. If you ever feel disorder during your day, um, stress, anxiety, blame, any of this stuff coming up, this is not in a blame sense. This is just in a sense of understanding what we're doing, okay, and accepting responsibility for it. All is always forgiven. There's never anything that isn't forgiven. Who would need to forgive you anyhow? Yourself? That's probably the only one. If you can forgive everybody else, you can forgive yourself too. And I think my son is coming downstairs, so if I have anything more to say, I will make part two. This I may be complete here, so I'll rewatch it and I will let you know.